I don't think we went to the moon off of base. It's not rooted in science. How much? How much have you really paid attention to it? Because I went down the rabbit hole for many, many years. I go off kind of like it's always like the social kind of where there's smoke, there's fire type clues of just like, us being in a race and no countries coming second, right? Other space programs not catching up to 1972 American technology, you know what I mean? Like, every time we went was under the Nixon administration, that's a good one. These types of little things that just make you go like, not like a flat earther, but it was just like, press conference? You ever watch the press conference when they returned from the moon? Watch this. It was our pleasure to have participated in one great adventure. It's an adventure that took place not just in the month of July, but rather one that took place in the last decade. We all here, and the people listening in today, had the opportunity to share that adventure over its developing and unfolding in the past months and years. And it's our privilege today to share with you some of the details of that final month of July. That was certainly the highlight for the three of us of that decade. It became a saying on the show. I even have a t-shirt. The moon is weird. Yeah. Like, Gino's my weird topic guy. It's like, what should we talk about? He's like, do hollow moon. So I went into that story thinking this is the dumbest __ I've ever heard. The moon is hollow. And I'm doing the research about halfway through. I'm like, the moon is weird. And then by the end of my research, I was convinced that clearly the moon is a hollow spaceship that was brought here from another part of the galaxy. And it's here. And the lizard people are absorbing our soul energy. That's the only explanation for it. Probably not true, but man, the moon is very weird. Well, it's also weird that the alignment and the size and the distance of the moon makes the eclipse perfect. Like, what are the odds of that? What are the odds that it is the exact distance from the sun so that when the moon and the sun align, it's exact, right? It's like a 400-to-1 ratio. It's exact. It's nuts. But you could debunk that by saying the moon is getting further and further away, right? But why is it perfect? We have not found a planet in the solar system or anywhere else that has a giant moon right next to it, a quarter the size of the Earth. We haven't found it. Yeah. We're the only one with it. Kubrick was a strange guy. Yeah. He would do complex mathematics in his spare time. Really? Yeah. He's like a legitimate genius. Wow. And he would put all sorts of like weird hidden meaning into all of his movies. Like a thing was never just a thing. Like, there's a big crazy conspiracy about The Shining that inside of it is all sorts of information that, relates to the moon landing. Well, and they say that he directed the fake movie about the fake moon landing, 2001. The conspiracy theory about him directing the moon landing was that he was doing it at the same time he was doing 2001. So because he was faking this space movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey, they used him to fake the moon landing footage. There's a fake documentary, not a real documentary, but a fake, like a mockumentary, where he's admitting and people are talking about it. Have you seen that one? No. But that makes sense. Yeah. A lot of people are like, dude, you didn't even know there's an actual real interview with him where he admits that he faked the moon landing. But it's not. It's fake. But were you ever in the camp of the moon landing was fake? For years? Yeah. It's one of my favorite all-time conspiracies because it's so strange that we never went back. I abandoned it because I don't know anything about astrophysics or space travel or any of that stuff, and the people that do think it's real. So I'm like, okay, well, most likely they think the landing really happened. Yeah. But there's so many weird things to it. Does that mean that they faked the moon landing? No. But it means that people fake things. So you gotta be really objective and look at that. Okay, so people say fake things. They definitely filmed a lot of the training exercises that they did of the moon landing. They filmed a lot of __. They definitely did. That has already been proven that they took this fake photograph and they tried to pass it off as a real spacewalk. It's entirely possible that some of the stuff that they filmed, they made out to look like they were on the moon when they were not. But does that mean they didn't go to the moon? No, it doesn't. And so when I was saying it proves that they didn't go to the moon, my critique of myself is that I didn't look at it objectively because I wanted one conclusion to be true, and I wanted that conclusion to be that the moon landing was fake. So I looked at it and I was saying to myself, okay, did I come to this conclusion because there's a lot of evidence that shows it to be fake? Or have I seen a lot of evidence that looks fake, and does that mean that they didn't go to the moon? No, it doesn't. There's a bunch of different possibilities. There's a ton of different possibilities. There's also the possibility that whatever photograph they took can get severely damaged in the radiation of space, that it was really difficult to do, right? That's possible, too. And that they decided somehow or another that they were going to pass off these, that they actually did go, and they decided they're going to pass off some of these fake videos. So, there's a bunch of possibilities. The possibility that it looks fake because I'm dumb and because I don't understand anything about the physics of 1/6 Earth's gravity, and it just looks weird because it's shitty film and 1969. That's possibility number one. Number two is they fake some things. Or number three is they didn't really have good footage because, you couldn't take film through the airport. Remember that? People would go through those radar detectors and your film would get jacked and they wouldn't be responsible. I didn't have any film, but I know people, I have friends that are photographers and my uncle's a photographer and he would tell me you can't send the film. If you take a roll of film and awesome pictures, how did they get it through? I don't know. I don't know what the _ they did. But I know that some film has been damaged. Or maybe it's an urban myth. I used to believe in the moon landing. You don't anymore? I had a joke in my act about it. That before COVID, I would have told you vaccines, the most important invention in human history, and after COVID, I'm like, I don't think we went to the moon. Yeah, I know that was in your, but you actually think that? I think there is a less than zero possibility that we did not go to the moon. Oh my gosh. I know. Why do you think we went to the moon? Because it's exactly what you just said about, well, there's a lot of reasons, but the main thing is what you just said about the Earth. The vastness of the conspiracy that would be required to fake that. It's so vast that it's a lot more incredible to believe that we faked it than to believe that we just went. And going to the moon, don't get me wrong, it's a massive achievement. But I think the greatest human achievement of all time. But even so, to fake it would be even more massive. Because not only would you need all of these space agencies and all the different whatever people in American institutions to be colluding, but you'd also need foreign governments, including adversarial foreign governments, who at this point certainly would know we faked it, and for some reason haven't blown the lid on it. So they're letting us take this achievement that they know, why haven't the Russians come out and said, all those things you're saying are true? I don't argue with any of the things you're saying, but one of the things that I think you have to consider was, if it's not possible for human beings to safely go through the Van Allen radiation belts and out into deep space without much protection and face the temperatures that are on the surface of the moon, which get up to 250 degrees and 250 degrees below zero in the shadows, it's a hostile environment beyond belief. Micrometeorites are flying into the moon all the time. They're flying through space all the time. We've never had a single biological organism go out into deep space, past the Van Allen radiation belts, and then come back to Earth and come back alive, except human beings during the Apollo missions. Every single space station mission, every single space shuttle mission, all of them are inside 350 miles from the Earth's surface. The only time human beings have ever been past that and through the Van Allen radiation belts was the Apollo missions. And we were the only humans that were ever able to do that. The Russians never figured out how to do it. No one else figured out how to do it but the Apollo astronauts. And we did it 7 times, 6 successfully from 1969 to 1972. Again, I'm not on the camp that they faked it, but there was Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Michael Collins. And Michael Collins, they asked him about stars, and in the press conference, he's like, I don't recall seeing any stars. Problem with that is Michael Collins never left the lunar module. He wasn't supposed to be one of the guys that was on the surface of the moon. He was up in the craft that was circling, those in orbit around the moon. And then later when he wrote a book about it, he talked about how magnificent the stars looked. So he has inconsistencies.
So the hoax people point to that.
Music applause. What lies beyond the visible, beyond the celebrated missions like Apollo 11? Buzz Aldrin, the renowned astronaut and second human to walk on the moon, who unveils a truth hidden for decades. Aldrin's revelation of a clandestine mission to the far side of the moon suggests an untold chapter of lunar exploration shrouded in secrecy for national security reasons. Join us on a journey into the astonishing narrative of Buzz Aldrin's revelations and the enigmatic realm of the far side of the moon. Aldrin's background and contributions to space exploration. Born as Edwin Eugene Aldrin Jr. on January 20, 1930 in Montclair, New Jersey, Aldrin was destined for greatness with his father, a colonel in the U.S. Air Force, and his mother, whose maiden name intriguingly foreshadowed his lunar destiny, Marion Moon. Aldrin's journey into space began with a distinguished career as a fighter pilot during the Korean War, where he flew 66 combat missions and shot down 2 MiG-15 jets, earning him the Distinguished Flying Cross twice for his bravery and skill. His prowess in the skies transitioned seamlessly into academia as he pursued a doctorate in astronautics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. His dissertation on line-of-sight guidance techniques for manned orbital rendezvous laid crucial groundwork for future space missions. Selected as part of NASA's third group of astronauts in 1963, Aldrin underwent rigorous training and contributed significantly to the development of spacecraft docking and rendezvous procedures. His first space flight on Gemini 12 in 1966 showcased his exceptional piloting skills and included a record-setting 3 spacewalks totaling 5 hours and 30 minutes, demonstrating human capabilities in the vacuum of space. However, Aldrin's crowning achievement came with the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, where he became the second person to set foot on the moon's surface following Neil Armstrong. Beyond his accomplishments as an astronaut, Aldrin's contributions to space exploration extend to his advocacy for future missions to Mars and his efforts in promoting STEM education. Through his books, public appearances, and innovative ideas for space travel, Aldrin continues to inspire and shape the future of space exploration, leaving an indelible mark on humanity's journey into the cosmos. Background of Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 mission stands as a monumental achievement in human history, representing the culmination of years of research, technological innovation, and daring exploration. The background of the mission is steeped in the context of the Cold War space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, which fueled a fierce competition to demonstrate supremacy in space exploration. The roots of the Apollo 11 mission can be traced back to President John F. Kennedy's historic challenge to the nation in 1961 when he boldly declared his vision of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. This ambitious goal was set in response to the Soviet Union's early successes in space exploration, including the launch of the first artificial satellite Sputnik 1 in 1957 and the first manned spaceflight by Yuri Gagarin in 1961. In pursuit of Kennedy's vision, NASA embarked on the Apollo program, a series of missions aimed at achieving lunar exploration and scientific discovery. The program faced numerous technical, logistical, and financial challenges, including the development of the Saturn V rocket, the most powerful launch vehicle ever built, capable of propelling astronauts to the moon. The Apollo 11 mission was the culmination of years of meticulous planning, rigorous testing, and training of astronauts. The crew selected for the historic mission comprised Commander Neil Armstrong, Command Module Pilot Michael Collins, and Lunar Module Pilot Buzz Aldrin. Each member of the crew brought a unique set of skills and experiences to the mission, ranging from piloting expertise to engineering prowess. The mission's objectives were twofold: to demonstrate the feasibility of a manned lunar landing and to conduct scientific exploration of the lunar surface. The crew underwent extensive training in spacecraft operation, extravehicular activity, EVA, and lunar surface operations, preparing them for the challenges of space travel and lunar exploration. On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 lifted off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida atop the towering Saturn V rocket, embarking on a historic journey to the moon. The spacecraft entered lunar orbit 4 days later, setting the stage for the lunar landing attempt. Apollo 11 mission. The Apollo 11 mission stands as a pinnacle of human achievement, marking the historic moment when mankind first set foot on the lunar surface. Launched on July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 was the culmination of years of relentless research, development, and testing by NASA and its partners. Commanded by Neil Armstrong with Buzz Aldrin as the lunar module pilot and Michael Collins as the command module pilot, Apollo 11 embarked on its monumental journey to the moon. The primary objective was to demonstrate that humans could successfully land on and explore the lunar terrain. But the mission also harbored scientific ambitions, including the collection of lunar samples and the deployment of experiments. On July 20th, 1969, the world held its breath as Neil Armstrong descended the ladder of the lunar module Eagle, becoming the first human to set foot on the moon's surface. A mere 19 minutes later, Buzz Aldrin joined him, and together they embarked on a mission filled with extraordinary tasks and activities amid the desolate lunar landscape. During their approximately 2.5 hours on the lunar surface, Armstrong and Aldrin conducted various tasks, including planting the American flag, engaging in a historic radio conversation with President Nixon. "I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. Thank you, Mr. President." They also deployed scientific instruments such as a laser-ranging retroreflector and a passive seismic experiment. One of the most significant achievements of the Apollo 11 mission was the collection of lunar samples totaling approximately 22 kilograms. These samples provided valuable insights into the moon's composition and origin, revolutionizing our understanding of lunar geology and the broader history of the solar system. The mission also showcased remarkable technical innovations and challenges. From the powerful Saturn V rocket that propelled the spacecraft into space to the lunar module Eagle, which transported astronauts to the lunar surface, Apollo 11 pushed the frontiers of engineering and science. Despite encountering technical challenges, including a nerve-wracking computer alarm during the lunar module's descent and a perilous fuel shortage during the final moments of landing, the Apollo 11 mission ultimately achieved its primary goal with finesse. Armstrong and Aldrin safely returned to Earth, leaving an indelible mark on the annals of human achievement and inspiring generations to dream of exploring the cosmos. Description of the dark side of the moon. The dark side of the moon, often referred to as the far side, presents a mysterious and intriguing landscape that has captivated the imagination of humanity for centuries. Unlike the near side, which faces Earth and is more familiar to observers, the far side remains largely unexplored and shrouded in secrecy, making it an object of fascination and speculation. One of the most striking features of the dark side of the moon is its rugged and cratered terrain, sculpted over billions of years by asteroid impacts and volcanic activity. The surface is characterized by vast plains interspersed with towering mountains and deep valleys, creating a diverse and otherworldly landscape that stretches to the horizon. Buzz Aldrin's experiences with the dark side of the moon during the Apollo 11 mission were both awe-inspiring and profound, offering a glimpse into the mysterious and unexplored realms of Earth's celestial neighbor. While much of Aldrin's time on the moon was spent on the near side, his orbit around the lunar surface provided him with unique opportunities to observe and contemplate the enigmatic features of the far side. As Aldrin orbited the moon aboard the command module Columbia, he had a front-row seat to the breathtaking vistas of the lunar landscape, including the rugged and cratered terrain of the far side. From his vantage point in lunar orbit, Aldrin observed the stark contrast between the barren highlands and the relatively few flat plains that characterize the far side, offering valuable insights into the geological diversity of the lunar surface. Exploring the dark side. Buzz Aldrin's exploration of the far side of the moon during the Apollo 11 mission marked a pivotal moment in human history, offering unprecedented insights into Earth's celestial neighbor. While Neil Armstrong and Aldrin's footsteps on the lunar surface garnered much attention, Aldrin's experiences on the far side provided invaluable scientific data and captivating revelations. As the lunar module pilot of Apollo 11, Aldrin played a crucial role in navigating the lunar module Eagle to the designated landing site, the Sea of Tranquility, on the moon's near side. However, it was during the orbital phase of the mission that Aldrin had the opportunity to observe and explore the far side of the moon, a region obscured from Earth's view. While in lunar orbit aboard the command module Columbia, Aldrin had a unique vantage point to observe the rugged and cratered terrain of the moon's far side. His observations, coupled with data collected by onboard instruments, contributed to our understanding of the geological features and surface composition of this enigmatic lunar hemisphere. Aldrin's exploration of the far side also provided insights into the moon's gravitational anomalies and topographical variations. By precisely measuring the spacecraft's orbit and observing gravitational perturbations, Aldrin and his fellow astronauts contributed to mapping the moon's gravitational field with unprecedented accuracy, revealing hidden structures beneath the lunar surface. Furthermore, Aldrin's observations of the far side's surface features, including impact craters, mountain ranges, and volcanic formations, laid the groundwork for future lunar exploration missions. These observations informed the selection of landing sites for subsequent Apollo missions and inspired scientific investigations into the moon's geological history and evolution.